Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The most powerful rocket ever built successfully took off from Texas this morning, but it didn't get far before it exploded. Why SpaceX is still calling this launch a success.
And today could end up being the hottest day that we've seen so far this year. I'll show you who's under a code orange ozone alert.
Also, a hearing is scheduled today for a Raleigh store owner arrested for a deadly stabbing. We'll hear from the victim's family.
Elon Musk's SpaceX launched its Starship rocket for the first time, but the mission fell short. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for joining us. Years of hard work, tests, millions of dollars. It all came down to this moment. So engineers cheered as the most powerful rocket ever built blasted off. The company has repeatedly said just getting up past that launch pad would be a success. The flight lasted a little more than 3 minutes before that happened, the explosion. No humans were on board. SpaceX says it expects to fly hundreds of Starship missions before people launch on that rocket. Minutes after the so-called unplanned disassembly of the SpaceX rocket, they tweeted, "With a test like this, success comes from what we learn, and today's test will help us improve Starship's reliability." SpaceX CEO Elon Musk also congratulated the team, saying, "Learned a lot for the next test launch in a few months." SpaceX has spent years developing the 400-foot-tall rocket, which was designed to be entirely reusable. NASA is paying the company to build a version to take astronauts to the moon's surface.
Our high today could be the hottest so far this year. Sunshine helped our temperatures reach the upper 80s to near 90 this afternoon. And we have a code orange ozone alert for this afternoon due to the heat and stagnant air.
Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRL Severe Weather Center with an explanation of that ozone alert.
We don't often see these this early, but our temperatures are really warming up, and the high pressure system sitting over us is allowing pollution to sort of collect underneath it. So the Triangle area, including Durham and Wake County, Granville County, and Franklin County, all under a code orange ozone alert. That means if you're in a sensitive group, children, elderly, or if you have a respiratory issue, you should not exert yourself outside this afternoon. We take a look at what's happening outside right now. Of course, here's a look at Chapel Hill. And we do have a little bit of high, thin cloud cover, but lots of sunshine, allowing our temperatures to really climb. Right now, it is 80 degrees. We have a southwest wind at about 8 miles per hour. That southwesterly wind continuing to push the warmth into our area. It's 82 in Fayetteville, 82 in Rocky Mount, 77 in Roxborough. We'll see our temperatures climbing into the upper 80s, looking at 89 degrees in the Triangle. And the warmest day we've seen so far is 87 back on April the 6th. We also have another story in our weather alert day for Saturday. Today, the Storm Prediction Center added a level 1 risk from the Triangle area westward and a level 2 risk in our eastern counties. Damaging wind and small hail will be our biggest threats. We'll be watching the eastern part of the viewing area for an isolated tornado. Also today, the arrival of this has moved up a little bit earlier. We could start to see some thunderstorms as early as lunchtime, continuing through the evening hours. We take a look at our rain chances. It looks like it's going to be mainly a day event for us on Saturday. The storms move out fairly quickly during the evening, and Sunday looks dry. Coming up, I'll walk through the timeline of Saturday's storms on Futurecast.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, there is extensive damage in Oklahoma after tornadoes tore through there last night. I mean, some towns just reduced to rubble. There are damage to homes and other properties. You see this Lowe's store here, all of the debris on the ground. In the town of Cole, they are saying at least 3 fatalities have been reported, and in neighboring counties, there's even more widespread destruction. Oklahoma says they saw at least 8 tornadoes that touched down. The National Weather Service will complete damage surveys, and they will determine the size and the extent of this damage.
Michelle, thanks. New this noon, the family of a man who was stabbed to death at a Raleigh store says no one deserves to die like that. Chelsea Donovan spoke with the mother and brother of Mark Garrity this morning. And Chelsea, we understand the store owner now, from our overnight reporting, he's been charged with murder in this.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jeff. We're actually in front of Taz's supermarket this afternoon. And just a few minutes ago, we watched as the family of Mark Garrity Jr. put up this poster here and laid some flowers. They originally had planned to meet in Moore Square for a justice rally for Mark, although things did change, as you mentioned, overnight as the store owner here at Taz's, 60-year-old Tazir Zarka, was arrested last night on a murder charge. Now, he is, like I said, in fact, charged with murder 14 days after the crime inside of Zarka's store. When police arrived, they found Mark Garrity Jr. in front of the store with stab wounds. He later died at Wake Med. Now, witnesses saw Garrity stumble out of the store before collapsing. Several witnesses and even a store employee had stated that Zarka committed the crime. He was questioned after that stabbing by Raleigh police, and days after the stabbing, he actually told us that he didn't feel like talking about it, and he said it was too bad that it happened. Now, Mark Garrity grew up in Wake Forest and went to Heritage High. His mother described him this morning as kind, trustworthy, and generous. I spoke to her about the arrest just a few hours ago.
The grief is so raw. I feel a little safer. I feel it was done right, and Mark, he didn't deserve it. No one deserves, no matter what the situation, no one deserved what happened to my son.
Just a hard week of emotions as they just laid Garrity to rest on Saturday. We should mention that Zarka is due in court today at 2 p.m. He currently remains in the Wake County Jail under no bond. We'll be at his first court appearance and bring you live updates on WRAL.com and in our 4 p.m. newscast. Jeff.
Just details heartbreaking in that whole story. Chelsea Donovan reporting live for us this noon. Chelsea, thanks.
A brief court appearance today for two men linked to the hit and run involving State Auditor Beth Wood. Court documents say Jonah Mendes was a passenger in Wood's car. He's charged with obstructing justice and failing to give information as a passenger. Ryan McGirt is accused of getting Wood to another car away from the scene. He's accused of delaying the investigation. A Wake County man convicted of killing his wife died of natural causes. Alan Holman was convicted and sentenced to death in Wake County for the 1997 fatal shooting of his wife, Linda. It happened in front of a police officer in Apex. The 64-year-old died at an outside medical center yesterday afternoon.
At this hour, hundreds of people are gathered outside the General Assembly on Halifax Mall. Educators, parents, child care providers, all trying to get the attention of state lawmakers. WRAL's Ken Smith is here with why these advocates want more focus on early child care education. Ken?
You know, Jeff, here on WRAL, we've reported on the staffing struggles and long waiting lists for early child care, and not to mention how expensive it is. One advocate said to me recently, if you think hiring teachers is a struggle, it's even more difficult in early child care industries. The pay is less than about $10 an hour. Well, all of these advocacy groups want lawmakers to double their investment when it comes to pay and benefits for child care teachers. They also want affordable and accessible child care for all children and families and better funding for child care providers.
Here in the triangle, if you have an infant and you need to go back to work, you're looking at a 2-year waiting list. And so across the state, businesses can't find workers, workers can't find childcare. And it's because the childcare industry cannot sustain itself without further support from the government.
Well, Nelson says it's going to take more than just assistance from Jones Street. She pointed to a bill recently introduced featuring a pilot program called Tri-Share. That measure requires the cost of childcare to be shared between the government, businesses, and families. Again, this childhood advocacy rally is happening right now on Halifax Mall until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Look for new reporting on this story starting at 4 right here on WRAL. Jeff.
A lot riding on it for families. Ken, thanks.
Avelo Airlines is adding a new nonstop flight out of RDU International as we take a live look at the airport. This morning, the airline announced nonstop flights to Wilmington, Delaware. Avelo will be the first airline offering flights between RDU and Delaware. The new service begins June 22nd. Avelo flights first took off from Raleigh in May of last year. The TSA is hiring more agents ahead of the busy summer travel season. The agency is looking for part and full-time officers for RDU. Starting salary is approximately $38,000 a year. After 1 year, the salary jumps to more than $48,000 a year. And another $10,000 will be added to the salary after 2 years of service. The hiring event takes place April 25th and 26th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. over at the DoubleTree on Page Creek Lane in Durham.
Carolina Hurricanes head to New York for Game 3 of the series after a dramatic overtime win in Game 2. It was Jesper Foss with the game-winning goal just over 5 minutes into the extra period. Sent that PNC Arena crowd home after they got rowdy. They were very happy. Hurricanes coach Rod Brindamore says fans can expect to see close, hard-fought games the entire series.
This is the playoffs. People keep thinking we're supposed to dominate the game. I don't understand this. They're a good team, and they had us on the ropes, and my guys came back and said, enough, and they gave it back. So that's how it's going to go.
Come from behind and win after leading by 2 goals earlier. Game 3 of this series will be tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in New York.
Next at noon, April 20th is a big day for cannabis enthusiasts. Why marijuana growers are not as high on the industry right now.
Also, it's been 20 years since Australia saw a solar eclipse like this. The people from around the world who flocked down under to see it.
Plus, at 12:30, we hear from the father of a woman shot and killed when her friend pulled into the wrong driveway. His emotional plea for justice.
Download the new WRAL streaming apps on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Android TV.
April 20th, or 420, marks the day where cannabis enthusiasts around the world celebrate marijuana. But not everyone is feeling festive. A number of legal marijuana growers saying their industry is under financial stress. Ted Lindner takes a closer look.
The future of the legal marijuana industry is looking murky, especially for growers out west.
I don't know any companies that are really making money.
Temperate weather along the West Coast provides the perfect growing conditions for the plants. The problem? Even though 21 states have legalized recreational pot for adults, federal law bans the interstate sale of marijuana, leaving many farmers in California, Oregon, Washington State, and Colorado with too much supply and not enough demand.
Everybody's just trying to manage their losses, and the most successful companies tend to be the ones that were able to raise the most capital and survive the longest downturn.
The oversupply is causing growers and cannabis shops to slash prices. It's good for consumers, but bad for business. With the legal marijuana industry already having to compete for profits with illegal sellers nationwide.
The illicit market is booming. There's more money to be made there. And, ultimately, those are our biggest competitors right now.
To combat the surging stock of pot and boost declining revenues, growers are hoping the federal government will approve marijuana trade throughout states where it's legal. Many are surprised it's taken this long.
I don't know if I would have, really been all in or done this, really, if I would have known it was going to take this long for federal legalization to happen.
That was Ted Lindner reporting. Unregulated markets also pose serious health risks for people. One study reviewed cannabis products from 20 illicit stores in New York City, and about 40% contained harmful contaminants such as E. coli, lead, and salmonella.
A new study from the CDC reveals cases of severe autism are rising, but at a much slower rate than milder autism cases. And about a quarter of U.S. children diagnosed with autism fall into the profound category, and that means they may have the inability to speak or have lower IQ levels. This study is important because it might better help describe the substantial differences among those with autism.
Those with profound autism are more likely to be female, from racial and ethnic minority groups, have low adaptive functioning, and more likely to have self-injurious behavior and seizures, among other things.
Currently, there are no blood or biological tests for autism. Diagnoses are made based on a child's behavior.
Today marks the 24th anniversary of one of the worst school shootings in American history. 2 students went on a shooting rampage inside Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado. 12 students and 1 teacher died in that shooting. The gunmen also took their own lives. At least 20 others were wounded in that rampage. Today also marks the 13th anniversary of the explosion on board the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico. 11 people were killed in that, and the explosion and fire led to the largest oil spill in U.S. history. It was later determined that the blast was caused by the failure of a concrete core. The rig eventually sank on April 22nd. By the time the well was capped, scientists estimate that around 4 million barrels of oil leaked into the Gulf.
Visitors from around the world flocked to Western Australia for a glimpse at a rare cosmic event. You're looking at a time-lapse video of a hybrid solar eclipse. That's when the sun, the earth, and the moon align to this awe-inspiring effect. Scientists, eclipse hunters, and enthusiasts all camped out for the occasion at this viewing site in the town. About 20,000 people showed up for that. Big deal. Really cool.
It's going to be a hot day today. We're also in for some rocky weather this weekend, and that's why Saturday is a WRAL weather alert day, Elizabeth.
We've been tracking this front all week long, and the computer models are coming into pretty good agreement that this is going to start somewhere around lunchtime, early afternoon, and we'll see a line of thunderstorms developing through the afternoon and moving eastward, and it's in our eastern counties that will have the best chance of any severe storms. The biggest threat would be damaging winds. Of course, we could see some small hail and some heavy rain. Our level 1 risk is from the Triangle area westward, and this was issued early this morning. So our WRAL weather alert day includes the potential for some light showers in the morning and then some storms developing right around or just after lunchtime and shifting eastwards and then out of the viewing area during the evening. Again, damaging winds, some small hail and some heavy rain, possibly some isolated tornadoes in that level 2 risk. Here's a look at the front approaching us. We'll stay nice and dry today and tomorrow, Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, still dry, but we'll begin to see some increasing clouds on Friday night into Saturday. Some rain in the mountains at that point. By 9 o'clock, we're beginning to see some isolated showers popping up. We have the Tar Heel 10 miler we're a proud partner of, and we may start to see some rain before the race is over. Even an isolated thunderstorm, but it's more likely that we would see a storm closer to lunchtime. You can see a few of these cells beginning to pop up really just right around the middle of the viewing area. By 3 o'clock, there's a little bit of a line that's starting to develop, and it looks much more impressive of a line by the time we get to mid to late afternoon. There's 6 p.m. You can see that right along the I-95 corridor. After 6 or 7 o'clock, it moves on out and we're finished. Colder air starts to filter in. We get a second push of cool air on Sunday night, bringing our highs back into the 60s for parts of next week. Right now, we have some high thin cloud cover here over downtown Durham. This is, of course, a look at the DBAP. Our current temperature, 80 degrees, so it is warm already. It's a little more muggy than it was this time yesterday, but our dew point's still in the 50s. And as long as it stays in the 50s, it doesn't feel particularly humid. We'll climb into the upper 80s for a bit this afternoon, and our evening temperatures will stay in the 80s for a while. This is a look at our satellite view, the high-resolution satellite, showing just a little bit of high-thin cloud cover out there right now, but, a little bit of a milky sunshine look, more so than we've seen the last several days. It's 77 in Roxborough, 82 in Clinton and Goldsboro, 79 right now in Southern Pines, but again, we are on our way to 89 in Durham and Raleigh and 90 in Fayetteville. The warmest temperature we've seen for a high at RDU so far this year is 87, and that was on April the 6th, so this will be the warmest. And of course, we do have that code orange ozone forecast for several of our counties around the Triangle area. If you're in the category of elderly, children, or someone who has respiratory issues, you don't want to overdo it outside this afternoon. We still have high pollen counts for trees and medium for grasses, but this is a good thing. One of the things that is lower is our dew points, and so we're going to feel fairly comfortable. Saturday, we jump up to tolerable, but that's because we're going to see some rain on and off during the day Saturday. After Saturday, we see that humidity dropping back off again. Our normal high is 74, so definitely warm for the next couple of days, but we get into Sunday and Monday, and temperatures drop back down below normal. Tar Heel 10 miler, again, we're a proud partner of that, looking at temperatures in the 60s during the run, but sometime between 8 and 9 o'clock, we may begin to see some scattered showers developing, and that may continue on through lunchtime. So Saturday, again, is a WRAL weather alert day. We're going to see a dry day on Sunday, and our temperatures will be in the 60s for highs on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Quite a temperature drop there. Elizabeth, thank you. Do you have money saved in the event of an emergency? From inflation to unemployment to worries about being laid up by an illness, emergency funds can help smooth out life's financial hits. Today at 4, 5 on Your Side explains how you can best prepare.
Then at 6, there's a new tool to help first-time home buyers break into the housing market. WRL investigates Onify to test out if it's worth it and explains what the risks are. And still ahead this noon, is your iPhone really secure? Still to come, how thieves are using a security setting designed to prevent hacking, but they're using it to steal photos, files, and much more.
And just ahead, why Americans are less prepared for retirement today than they were 3 years ago. Welcome back. It's 12:23, and today we could see a high near 90 degrees, so why not make it a beach day and get in the car and head to Carolina Beach? Looks like a lot of folks already have that idea. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. A new report says fewer Americans are ready for retirement. The Fidelity Investments report shows the nation's retirement score has dropped to 78, which is fair. That's down from an all-time high in 2020 of 83. The big reason for the drop? Fidelity says people are saving less and are being more conservative with their investments. The IRS says it has finally cleared a huge backlog of tax returns. Delays caused by the pandemic originally led to millions of paper tax returns to pile up. Staffing shortages on top of that also contributed to the problem. IRS officials say the massive recent boost in funding led to new scanning technology, helping to digitize those paper tax returns.
You can now apply to get a small piece of Facebook's privacy settlement, and home prices took a hit last month. Those are among today's business headlines with Maribel Aber.
Home prices fell 3.3% in March. It was the biggest annual decline since 2012. Now, this is according to real estate firm Redfin. It says pending home sales dipped to their lowest level since the start of the pandemic, and new listings also dropped as homeowners stayed put to hang on to their low mortgage rates. You can now sign up to claim a piece of Facebook's $725 million privacy settlement. The class action settlement is tied to privacy violations from Facebook's Cambridge Analytica scandal. Anyone who had a U.S. Facebook account between May of 2007 and December of last year can enter a claim. The payouts are expected to be small and based on how many people submit claims. To file, go to facebookuserprivacysettlement.com. You can get McDonald's Big Mac sauce by itself starting next week. The fast food giant is making the sauce available in dipping cups for a limited time. You'll have to order through McDonald's app to get the special sauce. It will be available a week from today, next Thursday, while supplies last. The sauce comes in retro blue and silver packaging inspired by the original Big Mac sandwich wraps. And those are your business headlines. I'm Maribel Aber at the NASDAQ Market Site.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are weighing in on a hot-button issue in collegiate sports. Today, the House is expected to vote on a bill that prohibits transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports. Plus,
if your robot cannot even play a game of soccer, how would you be able to use these robots for more important things, such as saving people's lives?
Engineers unveil a groundbreaking humanoid they say can someday move from playing soccer to saving lives. And here are your winning lottery numbers on your screen right now.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
this morning, the U.S. House passed the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act, legislation that aims to ban transgender athletes from playing in women's sports. Madeline Rivera has reaction from both sides.
A fight is escalating on Capitol Hill over the participation of transgender athletes in female sports. Both sides arguing they want to level the playing field.
Trans kids are all God's children, belong in sports, in schools, in books, in families, and on teams.
We don't want biological men taking away the achievements of women who fought so hard for where they are today.
The bill is passed.
The House has passed a bill banning transgender girls and women from competing in women's athletics. One former All-American swimmer at the University of Kentucky supports the bill.
Men are on average taller, stronger, more powerful, they're faster.
But the bill faces an uphill battle outside of the House. Earlier this month, the Department of Education proposed a rule saying schools can't categorically ban transgender athletes from playing on sports teams consistent with their gender identity. The Biden administration saying such policies would be a violation of Title IX.
No group of kids should be banned from school sports, period.
However, under the administration's proposal, schools would still have the leeway to limit the participation of transgender athletes if they determine including them would undermine fairness or risk safety. Transgender athlete Leah Thomas wants the White House to go further.
During this time of intense anti-trans backlash, the trans community needs explicit protections from discrimination in order to live our lives freely and equally.
That was Madeline Rivera reporting. The Biden administration is expected to finalize new Title IX rules in May.
The Supreme Court now has until tomorrow to make a ruling on new restrictions on access on a drug used for medical abortions. Justice Samuel Alito temporarily extended the hold on the lower court's ruling on mifepristone. That happened yesterday, and the court was previously expected to make a decision by 11:59 last night. Both the Justice Department and the company that makes the drug is asking the court to step in after a Texas judge issued a block for the FDA's previous approval of the pill. For now, women can still get mifepristone by mail. One of Donald Trump's former attorneys is set to be interviewed by federal prosecutors today. Boris Epstein worked as a special assistant to Trump during his presidency and advised him during the 2020 campaign. It's unclear what prosecutors will discuss with him, but we do know it's linked to the 2020 election. Last year, Epstein testified to a Georgia grand jury that investigated Trump's possible interference to try to overthrow the election.
Happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we are following some breaking news out of Whitakers, North Carolina. The Cummins Rocky Mount engine plant is on lockdown right now over a credible threat of an active shooter. I want to show you on the map right here where this is. It is in Whitakers, right off of US 301. They do say that all employees are safe. We're getting information from the Nash Sheriff's Office. They say the plant went on lockdown around 11 a.m. this morning because of that threat. This is a picture of the plant here. We are hearing that it is expected to lift in about 10 minutes at 12:40. Investigators are on scene right now looking into it. But again, all employees at the Cummins Rocky Mount engine plant, they are on lockdown, but they are all safe at this hour. This is a breaking news situation. We'll bring you the latest from the Live Center when we have it.
Michelle, thanks. We're learning more about the New York woman who was shot and killed when her friend accidentally turned into the wrong driveway. Andrew Gillis shared memories of his 20-year-old daughter, Kaylin. Gillis says his daughter was kind, loved animals, and was excited about moving to Florida with her family and planned to study marine biology. Police say her life was cut short when 65-year-old Kevin Monahan fired 2 shots at their vehicle when it was turning around to leave his driveway.
For this man to sit on his porch and fire at a car with no threat is just angers me so badly. And I just hope to God that he dies in jail.
And that was Kaylin's father, Andrew Gillis. Monahan is charged with second-degree murder. In court, prosecutors say Monahan had a reputation for being hot-tempered. His attorney says he had no criminal history and was frightened by seeing several cars in his driveway.
Police said U.S. Marshals are searching for a Gaston County man following a shooting that injured 3 people, including a 6-year-old girl. Neighbors told officers it all started when a basketball rolled into the man's yard. Witnesses say Robert Singletary ran down the street firing a gun. 2 men and a girl were shot. Her grandmother allowed her to speak with reporters about the event, but due to her age and the trauma, she's not being identified.
And we think the bullet came back and it hit me, and the bullet went in my cheek.
Well, that girl and 1 man were treated and released from the hospital. However, the girl's father is still in the hospital. Singletary is considered armed and dangerous on the run.
Our county-by-county coverage this hour takes us to Lee, Orange, and Edgecombe counties. Lee County Commissioners voted this week to move forward on plans for a new convenience center. The new center would replace one on East Wilson Road. The solid waste superintendent says the current facility is too small, and growth in the area causes major traffic and security concerns. County officials are hoping to buy land in the area of Frank Wicker and Swan Station roads to build that facility. Carrboro Mayor Damon Siles will not run for re-election this fall. Sile says he wants to focus more on his personal and professional life. His term will end when a new mayor is sworn in this December. Sile says he's proud of his service as one of the few LGBTQ+ elected officials in North Carolina, and he hopes Carrboro will continue to be welcoming and inclusive. Today, you can learn more about your rights when it comes to housing in Rocky Mount. The city is hosting a discussion on fair housing and tenants' rights. There are 2 different sessions. One runs from 10 to noon, the other from 6 to 8 tonight. Both will be held at the Booker T Theater on East Thomas Street. Both tenants and property owners are encouraged to attend. The events are free.
Everyone is invited to sip and stroll at the night market, returning to Garner tonight. A family-friendly event will be set up outside in downtown Garner. You can sip on wine or local beer as you shop the more than 50 vendors at the market. There'll also be food trucks offering a bite to eat. The market is open from 5 until 9 p.m. If you miss it, it'll return again May 18th. A security setting on your phone could be helping thieves. What happens when they lock you out of your Apple account?
Plus, we'll tell you how science is looking into the root cause of why your hair turns gray and what might be done to prevent it. If you're a parent or caregiver and you're looking for a fun activity to do with the kids, there's a free kids workshop coming up in May. WRAL Smart Shopper Faye Prosser is here now with details. Faye, who's offering this workshop and what will the kids get to build?
Well, Renee, Home Depot is offering their kids workshops again, and your daughter may be interested in this event. It's happening the first Saturday of each month at participating locations. The next workshop is coming up May the 6th. That takes place between 9 a.m. and 12 noon, but you do need to sign up now. Pre-register before all the seats are gone. And parents and kids will be building a cute flower planter at the May event. During these events, kids get to keep the project they make, plus they get a certificate, an apron, and a commemorative pin. They're really adorable. And you can see all the details of these events over on the Smart Shopper column.
Elsa loves to create and to build, so that is right up her alley. And then you can buy some seeds and flowers and plant in the flower box. A win-win.
Exactly.
Okay, Faye, as you do every week, you've searched the grocery store ads for us, and you have some great deals to share.
I really do. Get your grocery list ready, Renee. So you'll find in the produce aisle this week, Baby Bella mushrooms, 8-ounce package, only 99 cents at Aldi. Haas avocados, 2 for $1 over at Food Lion. Zucchini or yellow squash, 99 cents a pound at Food Lion, a great buy. And corn, 5 for $2 at Publix. Over in the meat department, you'll find chicken drumsticks in a fresh jumbo pack, 89 cents a pound at Aldi. Food Lion chicken drumsticks or thighs, only $1.29 per pound. Food Lion fresh chicken wings, a great price at $1.99 a pound at Food Lion. And Harris Teeter bacon in a 12-ounce package, only $2.99. Plus, in the rest of the stores, you'll find Happy Farms mozzarella shredded cheese in a big 16-ounce bag, only $3.29 at Aldi. Harris Teeter flour or corn tortillas in various sizes. Buy one, get one free, starting as low as 80 cents a bag. And Harris Teeter shredded cheese is on sale. Buy 2, get 2 free. Makes them about $1.75 each. And hummus in a large 20-ounce family size, 2 for $6 over at Lidl. And as always, you can see the lists of the top grocery store deals at our top stores on the Smart Shopper page.
Faye, you mentioned tortillas, cheese, avocados. I'm thinking Taco Thursday, Taco Friday, right?
Yes.
All right.
And Saturday. Yeah.
Yes, go get your groceries. All right. Thank you so much, Smart Shopper Faye Prosser, and check out her link at WRAL.com.
I would like to live with robots. Robots in the home, doing the dishes, taking out the trash. How cool would that be?
And coming up, we'll explain how this technology could lead to life-saving missions. Plus, it could be another reason to use biometrics. A new report points out how thieves are using a safety measure to lock the real owners out of their phones.
Robots are becoming a greater part of everyday life and even sports.
Yeah, engineers in California showing off this new bot's soccer skills. Jeff Paul explains how those skills could someday lead to more important assignments like saving lives.
Robots come in all shapes and sizes. But one new bot is turning heads and hoping to score big. Meet Artemis. Coming in at just under 5 feet tall, it's the latest humanoid from engineers at the University of California, Los Angeles.
I would like to live with robots. Robots in the home, doing the dishes, taking out the trash. How cool would that be?
Unlike most robots today, Artemis is outfitted with technology that mimics biological muscles, making its movements less stiff. Researchers at UCLA are perfecting the robot's running abilities and teaching it to play soccer, just in time for Artemis to compete in this summer's Robo Cup soccer competition in France.
We've been world champions 5 times. That was 8 years ago. I think it's about time for us to come back to a Robo Cup with Artemis.
But with all this powerful technology behind Artemis, why not teach it more important tasks besides playing sports?
If your robot cannot even play a game of soccer, how would you be able to use these robots for more important things, such as saving people's lives? And as a matter of fact, we have robots that we're using for firefighting and disaster relief. And the interesting thing is all these technologies we develop for soccer playing robots are being used for these more important applications.
This is Jeff Paul reporting there. Artemis is already off to a good start. It can walk at a pace just under 5 miles per hour, so pretty quick. It's one of the world's quickest humanoid robots.
And like that engineer said, it would be nice if the robots could take out the trash, do the dishes. Okay, then I'm all for that. A security setting designed to protect your iPhone from hackers might be doing the opposite. Thieves are using the recovery key to lock iPhone owners out of Apple accounts. With it, they can steal photos, files, and not to mention rack up thousands of dollars in Apple Pay fees and charges on your financial apps. Apple launched the optional recovery key in 2020. Unfortunately, the company does not provide a way for people to get their accounts back without that recovery key.
Using technology against us. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Our technology tells us Saturday is going to be quite a mess.
Yeah, we do have that. Weather alert day for Saturday. We've been tracking this front all week long, and it is still on track to bring us thunderstorms on Saturday afternoon. We do have a level 1 risk from the Triangle area westward and a level 2 risk in our eastern counties. And this is where we could see an isolated tornado. The threat for that looks fairly low. The biggest risk would be damaging wind. There could be some small hail in a few places. So we're looking at the best chance of storms starting around lunchtime and continuing up until around dinner time or so before it all moves eastward out of the viewing area. We take a look at what we're expecting with this. There may be some spotty showers early, and if we do see a little bit of light rain in the morning, that could help to stabilize the atmosphere a little bit and reduce our chance for those stronger thunderstorms in the afternoon. But that front's going to come through no matter what, and so we'll continue to watch very closely for that potential. This system has been producing some severe storms back to our west. This morning, you can see everything quieted down a little bit after we lost the daytime heating. But once we get into this afternoon and we start to see more daytime heating added here, most likely we'll end up with that potential for some more strong to severe thunderstorms. Still a good bit of lightning associated with that, especially up moving toward Chicago. We have high pressure in control of our weather that's brought us the sunshine for the last few days, and that'll be the case for the rest of the day today and tomorrow. The one big change today is we're seeing some of that high thin cloud cover, and those clouds will continue to thicken up tomorrow. Here's 6 p.m. tomorrow, all quiet. The high pressure system moves out, making way for the cold front to get closer to us. At 6 a.m. on Saturday, it is dry, but we begin to see some scattered showers moving across the viewing area as early as 9 a.m. An isolated storm wouldn't be out of the question at that point, but it's likely to be a little bit later, like say lunchtime. We're starting to see more of those contours showing up in the yellows and leaning toward orange, so a few storms beginning to pop up there. And then it's starting to form maybe a broken line right around 2 to 3 o'clock, right through the middle of the viewing area, and that line continues to sort of form up as we get into the late afternoon and evening. There's 6 p.m. right along and east of I-95, and then by 7 o'clock it moves on out. And then we're finished with it. We have some cooler air that begins to filter in. We do have the potential for some heavy rain, anywhere from a half an inch to an inch of rain with the system on Saturday. Earth Day, we're going to see a dry day, but temperatures will be much cooler behind the system. At 11 o'clock, 65 degrees. There's an Earth Day festival in downtown Durham. 71 degrees at 3 o'clock and around 70 at 5. So it'll feel comfortable with that sunshine. But we get another round of some cooler air that filters in late Sunday with a front, and that will drop our temperatures even farther. So Saturday is our WRAL weather alert day with that chance of scattered thunderstorms during the afternoon. We'll be tracking that for you. It's a good time to go ahead and download your WRAL weather app to be ready. Set alerts to tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. It's going to be quiet to start the week next week, but cool with high temperatures in the 60s and lows mostly in the 40s.
Thanks for that, Elizabeth. A new discovery shows the science behind gray hair growth. We'll explain what researchers found as the root cause and how some could soon say goodbye to the color.
First, here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers. We have 4, 11, 21, 38, 64. The Powerball is 11 and the Power Play is 3. We'll be back with your top stories. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. SpaceX's giant new rocket exploded minutes after blasting off. There were no people or satellites on it. The first test flight crashed into the Gulf of Mexico this morning. SpaceX has spent years developing the 400-foot-tall Starship rocket, which was designed to be entirely reusable.
The owner of Taz's supermarket in Raleigh has been charged with murder from a deadly stabbing inside his store. Police arrested Tazir Zarka for his role in the murder of Mark Garrity. Officers found Garrity in front of the store with stab wounds. Zarka is to appear in court today. Watch WRAL News at 4 and check WRAL.com for the newest information on this case.
There was a short court appearance today for 2 men linked to the hit and run involving State Auditor Beth Wood. Court documents say Jonah Mendes was a passenger in Wood's car. He's charged with obstructing justice and failing to give information as a passenger. Ryan McGirt is accused of getting Wood to another car away from the scene. He's accused of delaying the investigation.
No better time than Earth Day to make conscious decisions about our impacts on Mother Nature. Healthy habits can improve air quality as well as boost your mood and reduce stress. Dr. Alyssa Gordon shares some of the activities that can help the environment while potentially giving your body essential needs.
There's a variety of actions that any individual can take that can benefit the environment and also have positive health benefits. Some of these include eating a plant-forward diet, which is high in fruits and vegetables, as well as choosing to bike or walk to work or other activities when it's possible, and just getting out in nature.
Dr. Gordon reminds people to conserve energy at home by doing small things like remembering to turn off the lights and using the clothes dryer on a shorter cycle. Any of these recommendations will benefit the environment and support your health.
A new study finds why gray hair develops and perhaps even more importantly, how it might be able to be reversed. Researchers say gray hair is caused by stuck stem cells. These specific cells typically mature to give hair its color. As time goes by, some of those particles stop progression, causing hair to turn gray. And there's a further look into whether these trapped cells can be reversed in order to recreate pigment for hair again.
Are you looking for a pup who can tag along with you while you embark on your adventures and then snuggle up afterwards? Look no more. Meet Cash, a young pup with the most soulful eyes and softest fur you'll find, almost impossible to resist. Cash has done an amazing job mastering crate training and is working hard on his house training. He also loves snuggling. Don't let Cash wait any longer. Apply to adopt this cute puppy today. Just visit hopeanimals.org to apply.
A prom queen forgoes her crown to make one of her classmates' dreams come true. Today on WRAL News at 4, the now viral moment being shared online and how the girls are reacting.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.